In 1998, the Volkswagen Group purchased Bentley, and in the same year acquired the Italian Lamborghini and took control of the French Bugatti. This was a series of acquisitions that the Volkswagen Group added to its portfolio, which today totals 9 brands. What you may not know is that in Europe, these 3 companies, in addition to dominating all these brands on the continent, managed to sustain the entire luxury and sports automotive industry worldwide. They own the entire manufacturing process of the luxury industry in some way. In fact, 95% of the world's luxury cars have some German DNA. Take Toyota, for example. Japanese brands have always competed with German ones in technology, production capacity, and global dominance. Toyota is self-sufficient when it comes to economy and mid-range cars. However, in the sports car industry, even the mighty Toyota depends on BMW. The Toyota Supra MK5 and the BMW Z4 literally have the same base, the engine is BMW, and the electronics are all BMW. And the same thing happens around the world. Ferrari buys active safety systems from Germany. In the United States, Tesla uses German electric steering systems and sensors. In this video, I'll show you how each process of sports car manufacturing is sustained by the German industry, from the machines that manufacture the cars to the vehicles leaving the factory. Looking at this list, all of these brands have some direct connection to German automotive companies. This happens because it's a matter of survival. Luxury companies have extremely low sales volumes. Building an entire factory with expensive machinery to produce hundreds or thousands of units per year isn't worth the investment. Pagani, for example, sells only 50 cars per year. Investing $2 billion in a single factory to deliver a few units makes no sense at all. In the mass market, the logic is opposite. Toyota Motor sells more than 10 million cars per year, and a single economy model sells more units in a few weeks than Pagani has in its entire history. That's why depending on major brands with enormous production chains is necessary, but companies like Pagani that buy German engines could turn to Chinese engines, which have dominated the global mass market automotive sector, or buy from the Japanese. So what makes brands buy from the Germans? The answer lies in 1886, when the first automobile was patented by German Carl Benz. Despite the technical pioneering, German production in the 19th century lacked industrial standardization. England, then the leader in manufacturing volume, classified German items as low-cost replicas with mechanical fragility. In 1887, to segment domestic consumption, the British Parliament instituted the mandatory Made in Germany seal, aiming to identify goods with high defect rates or second-rate materials. The Germans took this as an insult, and they implemented rigid quality control. They adopted more resistant metal alloys, millimetric machining tolerances, and repeatable assembly processes. In a few decades, German manufacturing methodology was consolidated by component longevity, transforming Made in Germany into a quality standard. The second stage occurred in the 1930s. Germany began paving the Autobahns, highways designed with curve radii and inclines that allowed traffic without speed restrictions. While American vehicles were designed for torque at low RPMs, and the Asian market would later prioritize fuel consumption in urban routes, German vehicles operated under maximum load. For local approval, a car had to sustain constant speeds of 200 kilometers per hour, 124 miles per hour, without engine block overheating, thermal fatigue in brake discs, or loss of hydraulic pressure in the suspension. This operational demand forced automakers like Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and Porsche to adopt the concept of excess safety margin. Currently, the architecture of a V8 or V12 engine capable of delivering 800 horsepower while meeting pollution emission standards requires billions in research and development. Low-volume manufacturers like Aston Martin or Pagani don't have the production scale to amortize these costs. Consequently, these brands acquire mechanical assemblies from established suppliers. Although they could import highly reliable engines from Japan or low-cost components from China, a high-end vehicle consumer demands components with a performance track record. If a car like Ferrari uses Chinese components, this is seen by consumers as mass-produced low-quality items. and this leads Germany to completely dominate this segment, starting with the machines that manufacture the cars. Companies like Schuler, leader in metal presses, Durr, which dominates painting and final assembly systems, Trumpf, pioneer in industrial lasers, or KUKA, global reference in advanced robotics and high-precision articulated arms. These companies supply the essential machinery that shapes the chassis, welds the body, automates the production flow, and applies the finish, all indispensable technologies used by major automakers in Japan, Europe, and the United States. In the Italian block, Ferrari uses KUKA robotic arms in its welding and assembly lines in Maranello, while the active safety of its models depends on Bosch control modules. The internal data flow of these cars uses the FlexRay protocol, a high-speed network technology originally created by a consortium led by BMW. At Pagani, exclusivity is ensured by Mercedes-AMG, built twin-turbo V12 engines, while Maserati equips its vehicles with 8-speed transmissions supplied by Germany's ZF. Lamborghini operates in full integration with the Volkswagen Group using the MLB Evo platform, Porsche-engineered engines, and a digital architecture developed in Germany. In the United Kingdom, Rolls-Royce is owned by BMW, which provides its V12 engines and infotainment systems. Bentley is also controlled by Volkswagen and uses Porsche's MSB platform for its high-performance models. What all these examples reveal is that the global luxury industry isn't a competition between nations, but a pyramid where, regardless of the badge on the hood, the foundation is invariably the same. When you buy a British supercar or a Japanese sports car, you're actually acquiring decades of testing on the Autobahns and billions of euros in invisible German engineering. In the end, Germany doesn't need to own all the brands to dominate the market. It has become the operating system on which the automotive world runs. Without made in Germany, luxury as we know it today simply wouldn't have the parts to exist. It's ironic to think that the seal created in 1887 to label inferior products ended up becoming the biggest barrier to entry for new competitors. Today, a Chinese or Korean brand can deliver power and technology, but it can't deliver the quality of a supplier that helped invent the very concept of the automobile. German hegemony isn't based only on machines and KUKA robots, but on the perception of value. Germany transformed the British insult of the 19th century into the greatest technological market reserve in history.